Hi. Today what I'm going to do is do some demonstrations on rolling out slabs in order to build slab pieces. Basically, these are for structures, which is something like this. A nice little slab structure here. That could be a lot of fun to put things into, little coins, jewelry, that sort of thing. So, let's begin. The first thing that I do is, in a sketchbook, I put down my ideas. And then I make a pattern out of cardboard. In the sketchbook, I'm able to measure things and plan out my entire piece in cardboard. So you can see this is the pattern for the base of this project. And then I have one for the sides. I only need one pattern, but I do cut 2 pieces of clay because I have 2 sides. And so I have all of my patterns made in order to construct this slab piece of clay work. So, here we go. This is slip. Slip is clay and water mixed together, and basically, as you can see, it's mud, which is actually very close to what clay is. Clay is dirt. So we're going to take a look at some clay here. Now, clay is dug out of the ground and it's dried. Then it is smashed up, then it is put through screens, and the screens remove the rocks and the roots and the dirt. And then once that process is done, they add water to it, and voila, we have clay once again. But it is directly from the earth. Now, this is a wire for cutting clay, and what I'd like you to see is this wire is not sharp at all. It is not sharp at all, but it cuts clay very easily because clay is very soft. So here I go. I'm going to cut that clay, and that's a good chunk to start with. So I'll put the clay over here for now. Now I need some equipment. These are my clay guides. Now I want you to notice the thickness on here. This is how thick I want my clay to be. So my guides are both that thickness. The next thing I need is a roller. Yep. It's the same kind of thing that you would roll a pie crust out with, but it works great. Speaking of eating utensils, I need a fork and a knife, and you'll see about those in just a minute. Okay, I have to roll out my clay now. There are fancy machines for this, like slab rollers, but I want you to learn how to do this by hand. So, what we're going to do is take our roller and go 1, 2, 3, and flip your clay. Now the reason why you want to flip your clay is because you're working on your tables. And if you don't flip it every 3 times, you're going to vacuum the clay right to the table. So, here we go. And flip. All right. And there we go. Let's see how we're doing here with our piece of clay. Oh, look at that. It's great. Now, I want you to notice that the ends here of the roller are on the guides. The reason why it's important to keep those on the guides is because we want the clay, no matter where we cut it, to be exactly the same thickness. The important part of that is so that it dries together in a seam. If you have one section that's this size and another that's quite a bit thinner, like for example this, when you set this to drying, the thinner part is going to dry first, and you have a good chance that these two pieces of clay will either crack or pull apart. So, here's my slab. It's a great looking slab, and it is all one thickness. Now I have to get my patterns out. Oh no, look at that. I don't have enough to do this. So, now I'm going to show you how to score and slip. I'm just going to make a straight edge, and I'm going to take this and split it in half. Just like that. Anytime you score and slip something together, or you join clay, you need to score and slip it. And the reason is this: clay shrinks twice. So if you just press it together, the first time it shrinks is when it's drying. The second time is the first time it's fired. So it will just fall away from each other. However, if you score it, and you score it, and you put a little slip on there for glue, you put it together, and it shrinks and it locks. So that's a great way to think about it. Let's see what scoring is. You don't want to be delicate with scoring. You want to really rough up that clay. And we have a fork because it gives us 4 times the fastness, because each time is going to score for us. Now, I have to do both sides. So I'm going to, once again, rough that up like this. And that's a good beginning.